Hayao Miyazaki's art is instantly recognizable. From the stylized Ghibli faces that capture a wide range of expressions to the handcrafted worlds he creates, Miyazaki's work stands apart from anything else in the animation industry. In fact, he has done excellent illustrative works with his mangas back in the day. However, while the faces may seem simplified to make the studio's handcrafted animation somewhat doable, and not every film conveys the same sense of direction, all his characters and creatures are presented in such a way that they evoke deep emotions, making them not only memorable, but truly feel alive. When we break down and analyze Hayao Miyazaki's art style, his mantra, "At Studio Ghibli we draw people, not characters," resonates with the inner nature of their art. It's no wonder that big titles like Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and of course the heavy hitter My Neighbor Totoro to feel so vibrant and timeless. With that said, most of Miyazaki's art focuses on keyframes and rough concept sketches, meant to spark ideas for his team to make movies about. However, when he takes the time and creates full-blown illustrations, he definitely goes all in with his skill. One of his biggest contributors is the art he did on his manga series, is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. And while this manga is like any other black and white, his other manga, Shuna's Journey, is filled with vibrant watercolor panels. At the core of Miyazaki's art style, one of the key features is how he draws the eyes. In Miyazaki's work, the eyes often have a specific use of catchlights, small glints on the lower side of the dark iris that serve to push the character's gaze, allowing for gentle expressions that live and breathe. The chin and cheeks are designed with a rounded softness, and facial features like the nose and mouth are subtle but effective. In simple terms, the faces are expressive enough to suit each scene, while staying grounded and avoiding an overly cartoony style. The kiddos in particular often have a charming blush on their cheeks, which reminds me of Yoichi Kotabe's concept art for Heidi. For those unfamiliar, he is the game artist responsible for fleshing out Mario's iconic design. On that note, there are many inspired works such as Ni no Kuni and Jade Cocoon that could easily be misinterpreted as Ghibli's works. We survived with Studio Ghibli because we made what we wanted, not trying to please the audience. In hindsight, that is why we survived and not forgotten. Miyazaki's attention to detail extends far beyond facial expressions. The hairstyle, body forms, and gestures of his characters are crafted to work seamlessly with the animation, allowing them to move in ways that feel incredibly real and, depending on the scene, make it more joyful and lively. Beyond that, his illustrations capture a moment in time. As an animator, it's clear that Miyazaki prioritized natural movement and behavior above all else. One of his colleagues once noted that Miyazaki is known for his keen observation of his surroundings to imagine the world from the character's perspective, always striving for authenticity. Self-satisfied people are boring. We have to push hard and surpass ourselves. Miyazaki uses watercolor for nearly all his works. Depending on the purpose, he chooses to add volume and sense of depth. As an animator, he draws quickly and discards many of his concepts and designs, rarely satisfied with his creations. In his illustrations, however, he takes things to the next level, adding rich details and layers of shading that bring volume to the piece. In his manga, he uses a lot of detail that elevates the scene, making it feel massive and real. On the flip side, there's a few panels that are way too detailed for my taste. Don't think you can always capture what you want. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean you're able to. He acknowledged that not all of his concept art flows well, and that what we see clear in our mind's eye seldom comes to fruition. Most of his color concept and design pieces are crystal clear in their intent, which his employees can easily resonate with. I think we all have heard this phrase, you have to keep working until your nose bleeds. While this sounds hardcore, it's a reflection of his personal philosophy. His belief that self-satisfied people are boring is evident in his relentless pursuit of growth, Not just for himself, but for those around him. He's been known to push his employees to the limits, saying that Ghibli devours the talent of its people. His close colleague admitted, Totoro became Miyazaki's worst enemy because everything that he created afterwards couldn't top it. And that is also why his designs work so well. He dives pretty deep from the normal. I mean, these little tree spirits may look strange, but they fit perfectly within the world. When it comes to Miyazaki's designs, whether character, creatures or vehicles, he always keeps things interesting, favoring playful and light-hearted elements over the overly serious ones. And for the ones who struggle with creativity or are in a bit of a mental art block, Miyazaki noted that he seeks new ideas through intense observation. Sometimes, the only way to create something special is to make attempt after attempt. It's boring to do nothing. I don't want to make crap though. I want to go somewhere new. I never want to regret not trying something. It's better to try and fail. Miyazaki hit the nail on the head. Another way to look at it is what made us fall in love with the manga art style in the first place. As a 90s kid myself, it's the nostalgic 80s and 90s style that bombarded us back then. Therefore, I think if we stay true to what excites and motivates us, we'll find our inner answer we're looking for and create something new without focusing too much on our failed attempts. One of Miyazaki's strengths is the silhouettes of his characters. In animation, it's essential to make this as clear as possible. He noted that in the beginning of his career, he had a tough time drawing people and was more interested in designing vehicles like planes. Today, he's by far the most popular animator in Japan, cited by countless of artists worldwide. His own influences for becoming a mangaka include artists such as Tetsuya Fukushima, Soji Yamakawa, and Osamu Tezuka. Miyazaki himself explores other media and has mentioned that he appreciates strong female protagonists who set an example. He's also quite vocal about mainstream opinions, expressing his dislike for the Beatles and Let It Go from Frozen. Yeah, who doesn't? Anyways, at the heart of Miyazaki's work is a deep respect for the process of creation. His philosophy drives him to constantly reinvent his work, never settling for a status quo. He once mentioned, "Once a film is completed, it's crucial that I don't feel ashamed of it." Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli have thrived by creating what they wanted, not by pandering to an audience. And that's why their works will stand the test of time. I'm light novel author Ghibli First, and I'm personally a big fan of Ghibli movies. While not all are made equal, each one has something special. Nonetheless, Miyazaki's designs are interesting and captures that creativity we often see in Japanese games. And while they are not related, the first thing I thought when seeing the cover of Shuna's Journey, I somehow got the Wonder and Agro vibes from Shadow of the Colossus first instead of Princess Mononoke. I wonder why.